The stars were cold and silent. They didn't care about the death that had just happened. Princess Yunji sat alone in her small escape pod, watching the remains of her world drift past like ghost memories. Her hands, pale and slightly blue, pressed against the pod's curved window. Outside, nothing but broken pieces of metal and rock floated in the darkness of space. Just hours ago, her entire civilization had been alive. The Kyrian Empire was a proud people, with tall crystal cities and ships that could dance between stars. Now, everything was gone. Destroyed. Erased. The Void Collective had come without warning. Their massive black ships had appeared like shadows, eating through Kyrian defenses faster than anyone could think. Energy weapons that could melt mountains tore through her people's best shields. Entire planetary sectors vanished in moments. Millions of voices screamed and then went silent. Yunji remembered her mother's last words. Survive, the queen had told her. Not fight or take revenge. Just survive. The royal genetic implant in her neck pulsed softly, keeping her alive when everything else was dead. It was a small blue device, no bigger than a human thumb, but it contained the last remnants of Kyrian medical technology. Her escape pod was nothing special. It had no weapons, no advanced communications, just basic life support and a small energy shield that was more like a whisper of protection than real defense. She had no idea where she was going. Space was big, and she was just a tiny dot of life running away from complete destruction. The pod's small computer screen flickered. Navigation systems were damaged. Oxygen levels were stable but slowly dropping. Power reserves showed 62% remaining. She had time, but not forever. Yunji closed her eyes. Her royal training told her to stay calm. Panic would not help her survive. She thought about her people, about the beautiful cities that no longer existed. The Kyrian civilization was thousands of years old. They had explored galaxies, created art that could make stars weep, developed technologies that seemed like magic. And now, all of that was gone in less than a day. A small beeping sound broke her thoughts. Something was approaching her pod. Her heart started racing. Was it the Void Collective, coming to finish what they started? Or something else? The pod's simple sensors began scanning the approaching object. It was large, much larger than her tiny escape vessel. Metal composition showed it was not like the black ships of her destroyers. This was different. This was human. Humans were a strange species, she knew. Young in galactic terms, aggressive, expanding quickly. The Kyrian Empire had watched them from a distance, seeing them as interesting but not particularly important. Now, they might be her only chance. The massive ship grew larger in her window. Its design was rough, functional, not beautiful like Kyrian ships, but strong, built for survival, built for war. Yunji took a deep breath. Her mother's last command echoed in her mind. Survive. The universe didn't care if she lived or died, but she would make her own choice. She would survive. The human ship's docking clamps grabbed Yunji's small escape pod like a giant metal hand. Inside the pod, she tensed. Her fingers touched the small blue genetic implant at her neck, her last connection to the Kyrian civilization. Survival protocols kicked in. She needed to be ready for anything. Loud mechanical sounds filled the pod. Airlock systems were connecting. Yunji could hear heavy boots moving outside. Not soft steps like Kyrian soldiers. These were different. Hard. Precise. The pod's door opened with a sharp hiss. A human stood in the doorway. He was tall, with muscles that looked like they were carved from stone. Scars marked his face. Not ugly scars, but ones that told stories of survival. His eyes were the color of steel, scanning everything quickly. A military scanner in his hand blinked and moved, checking for threats. This was Jaehoon. He wasn't what Yunji expected. She had heard stories about humans. Wild, unpredictable, always fighting. But this soldier looked more like a machine than a person. His military uniform was dark gray with no decorations, just pure function. "Princess Yenji?" he asked. His voice was flat, no emotion. She nodded slowly. Her royal training told her to show no fear. "I am the last of the Kyrian royal family," she said carefully. Her translator device worked perfectly, turning her native language into clear human speech. Jadhum's scanner kept moving, checking, scanning. He didn't seem impressed by her royal status. To him, she was just another potential mission objective. "You're coming with me," he said. Not a question. A simple statement. Two more soldiers appeared behind him. They looked just as hard, just as ready to fight. Their weapons were different from anything Unjai had seen. Compact, deadly, designed to kill quickly. The human ship was nothing like Kyrian vessels. Everything was gray and metal, pipes and wires everywhere. No art, no beauty, just pure survival design. Screens showed battle maps and system reports. This was a war machine, not a peaceful exploration ship. Jae-hoon helped her out of the pod. His touch was rough but careful. He wasn't gentle, but he wasn't trying to hurt her either, just doing his job. "The Void Collective destroyed your civilization," he said. It wasn't a question. He knew. Eum-jai looked at him. "They killed everything I knew," she answered. For just a moment, something changed in Jae-hoon's eyes. A flash of something. Maybe understanding. Maybe something else. They walked through the ship's narrow corridors. Soldiers watched her, some with curiosity, some with suspicion. She was an alien, the survivor, an unknown. A door opened, and they entered a small room. Medical scanners immediately started checking her body. Jae-hoon stood by the wall, watching everything. "We need to know what you know," he said, "about the Void Collective." Eun-ji understood. She wasn't a guest. She was a potential source of information, a survivor who might help humans fight their enemy. Outside the ship's windows, space stretched forever. Cold, silent, waiting. The real story was just beginning. The medical room was cold and bright. Eun-ji sat on a hard metal chair while machines scanned every part of her body. Jae-hoon watched from the corner, his arms crossed. Scientists in white coats moved around her, their eyes hungry for information. "Tell us about your technology," one scientist said. Dr. Lee, her name tag read. She looked at Eun-ji like a child looking at a new toy. Eun-ji touched the small blue implant at her neck. It was more than just a medical device. It was the last piece of her entire civilization's most advanced technology. Generations of Kyrian research were stored in this tiny piece of metal and living tissue. "This implant saved my life," she explained. "It can heal almost any injury. It can change DNA. It can fight diseases humans don't even know exist." The room went quiet. Jae-hoon's steel-gray eyes focused more intensely. Dr. Lee leaned forward. "Can you show us how it works?" Eun-ji hesitated. Her people's technology was sacred. Sharing it wasn't simple, but she remembered her mother's last words. Survive. And survival now meant working with these humans. She pressed a small spot on the implant. A holographic display appeared in the air. It showed complex genetic structures, medical information, and technology that looked like magic to human eyes. "Incredible," Dr. Lee whispered. Jae-hoon stepped closer. His scarred hand reached out, almost touching the hologram. "This could change everything," he said. But not everyone was happy. Commander Park watched from another room. His face was hard, angry. He didn't trust the alien princess. To him, she was a potential threat. "We can't let her technology fall into the wrong hands," Park muttered to Admiral Kang. The Admiral was different, older, wiser. He saw opportunity where Park saw only danger. "Every weapon has two edges," Kang said. "This technology could save us from the Void Collective." Back in the medical room, Eun-ji continued explaining. The implant could do more than heal. It could adapt, learn, survive in ways human technology couldn't even imagine. The Void Collective fears adaptive technology, she told Jae-hoon. They destroy civilizations that can change too quickly. Jae-hoon understood something then. The Void Collective wasn't just an enemy. They were a force that killed anything that could truly evolve. Dr. Lee started connecting human medical equipment to Eunji's implant. Slowly, carefully, each connection was like building a bridge between two different worlds. "We can learn from each other," Dr. Lee said. Outside the ship's window, stars moved. Space was full of secrets, full of dangers. The Void Collective was still out there, waiting. Eunji looked at Jae-hoon. For the first time, she saw something in his eyes. Not just a soldier, not just a protector, something more. The real war was just beginning, and survival would depend on how well two different species could work together. Alarms screamed through the human battleship. Red lights flashed everywhere. Eunji knew something was wrong before anyone told her. Jae-hoon burst into her quarters, his body moving like a weapon. "Stay here," he ordered. But Eunji was no ordinary princess. She was a survivor. The ship shook. Something was attacking from inside. Commander Park's voice came through the communication system. Angry. Harsh. "Containment breach in Sector 7. Alien technology is compromised." Jae-hoon's hand touched his weapon. His eyes were different now. Not just a soldier. Something more dangerous. A protector. Eunji's blue implant began to pulse. It was warning her. Danger was close. Two human soldiers tried to enter her room. Something was wrong with them. Their movements were too slow, too strange. Jae-hoon moved faster than anyone could see. His body was a weapon. In seconds, both soldiers fell. "They've been controlled," Jae-hoon said. His voice was cold. "Someone wants you dead." Ro-woon, Eunji's loyal companion, appeared from a hidden space, a small creature with 6 eyes and skin that changed colors. "The Void Collective," Ro-woon said. "They have agents everywhere." The ship's computer showed multiple system failures. Someone was trying to destroy everything. Trying to kill the alien princess. Commander Park watched from a secure room. His plan was simple. If he couldn't control the alien technology, he would destroy it. Destroy her. "She's too dangerous," Park told Admiral Kang. "Her technology could change everything. We can't risk it." But Admiral Kang was different. Older. Wiser. "Every new technology looks like a threat before it becomes a solution," he answered. Jae-hoon moved Eunji through secret ship corridors. His body was a shield. Every movement planned. Every step careful. "Why are you protecting me?" Eunji asked. Jae-hoon didn't answer immediately. Then, some fights are bigger than orders. Ro-woon shared critical information. The Void Collective had planted control devices in some human soldiers. They were trying to stop the joining of human and Kyrian technology. Another explosion rocked the ship. Fires burned in distant sections. Alarms continued to scream. Commander Park activated his final plan. Missile systems began to charge, targeting Eunji's location. But Jae-hoon was prepared. He had a plan. A crazy plan. "Hold on," he told Eunji. The ship's emergency systems were about to be tested. Humanity's future would be decided in the next few minutes. Ro-woon looked at Eunji. "Survival is a choice," the alien companion said. Words from her own lost civilization. Jae-hoon's hand touched a secret control panel. His augmented body was ready for anything. The battle for survival had truly begun. The secret laboratory was hidden deep inside the human battleship. Damaged equipment told a story of desperate work. Eunji stood next to Jae-hoon, her fingers moving across holographic displays that seemed to come alive under her touch. "We need to combine our technologies," she explained. Her voice was calm, focused. Dr. Lee watched everything. Her eyes were wide with excitement. Human scientists had waited years for a moment like this, a chance to understand something completely new. Jehun's augmented body connected to strange machines. Wires that looked like liquid metal moved around his skin. The Kyrian implant in Yunji's neck began to pulse. Communication started between two different types of technology. "The Void Collective has a weakness," Yunji said, "but we can only find it by working together." On the screen, complex data began to flow. Genetic structures, energy patterns, mathematical equations that looked like living art. Human technology was strong. Kyrian technology was adaptive. Together, they became something else. Rowoon moved between machines. The small alien companion understood more than anyone. This was more than just a technical experiment. This was survival. "Quantum resonance," Dr. Lee whispered. "It's impossible." But it was happening right in front of them. Jehun's augmented body began to change. Not physically. Something deeper. His brain was connecting with Kyrian technology in ways no one understood. Memories, skills, knowledge. The ship's computer systems started to shift, adapt, become something new. Admiral Kang watched from another room. He understood what was happening. This was more than a weapon. This was evolution. Commander Park was angry. "We can't control this," he said, but no one was listening to him anymore. Yunji touched a holographic display. Numbers and symbols danced. The Void Collective's attack patterns appeared. Weak points, hidden systems, secrets. "They fear adaptive technology," she explained to Jehun. "Civilizations that can change quickly are their biggest threat." Jehun understood now. The Void Collective didn't just destroy. They feared change. They wanted to keep everything the same. Controlled. Dr. Lee's computer showed something impossible. Human and Kyrian technologies were starting to merge. Not just work together. Actually become something new. "This changes everything," she said. Rowoon moved closer to Yunji. "Our people are gone," the alien companion said, "but our knowledge can survive." The laboratory felt different now. Alive. Like something was being born. Outside the ship's windows, space waited. The Void Collective was still out there. Watching. Waiting. But something was different now. Humanity had just discovered a new way to fight. A new way to survive. Jehun looked at Yunji. For the first time, he saw her as more than just a mission. More than just a survivor. The real war was just beginning, and they would face it together. The war room was silent. Giant screens showed star maps covered in red danger zones. Admiral Kang stood in the center, his fingers touching holographic displays. The plan was crazy, almost impossible. "We have one chance," he said. Jehun stood next to Yunji. Their connection was different now. Not just soldier and survivor. Something more. The merged technology in Jehun's body pulsed with energy that looked like blue lightning. "The Void Collective's main staging area is here." Yunji pointed to a dark spot on the star map. It was a place where stars seemed to disappear. A black hole of military power. Rowoon's 6 eyes moved quickly. "Impossible to attack," the alien companion said. "They have defense systems that can destroy entire fleets in seconds." But Jehun was not listening to impossible. His augmented body had become something new. Part human, part Kyrian. Something else entirely. Dr. Lee showed more data. "The quantum resonance we developed can break their shielding," she explained. "But someone needs to get close. Very close." Everyone knew what that meant. Someone would need to go on a suicide mission. Jehun stepped forward. "I'll go," he said. Yunji grabbed his arm. For the first time, emotion showed in her eyes. Fear, worry. Something more than a royal protocol. The plan was simple, but simple didn't mean easy. Jehun would take a small ship, powered by the new merged technology. His body was now a living weapon. The Kyrian implant and human augmentations had become something no one fully understood. Commander Park still didn't like the plan. "Too risky," he said, but no one was listening to him anymore. Admiral Kang understood. Some risks were necessary. Some missions were bigger than one life. "We'll create a distraction," the Admiral explained. "Multiple human fleets will attack different Void Collective positions, but the real attack will be Jae-hoon's mission." Ro-woon prepared special equipment, Kyrian technology that could adapt, change, survive. Yeon-ji helped Jae-hoon prepare. Her hands moved across his augmented body, checking systems, making sure everything was perfect. "If I don't come back," Jae-hoon started. "You will come back," Yeon-ji interrupted. No room for doubt. The small attack ship was unlike anything humans or Kyrians had built before. Blue energy moved around its edges. It looked alive, ready to fight. Outside, space was waiting. The Void Collective didn't know what was coming. Dr. Lee made final adjustments. "The quantum resonance is unstable," she warned. "It might destroy the ship, might destroy Jae-hoon." But Jae-hoon was beyond fear now. "Some fights are bigger than one life," he said, words Eun-ji had heard before. But now, they meant something different. The launch countdown began. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The ship disappeared into space. A weapon, a hope, a chance to save everything. Space burned. Jae-hoon's ship moved like a ghost through the Void Collective's defensive lines. Blue energy twisted around the vessel, breaking rules of physics that scientists thought were impossible. His augmented body controlled the ship as if it was part of him. The Void Collective's main staging area looked like a nightmare. Massive black ships stretched across entire star systems. Weapons that could destroy planets waited in silent rows. But Jae-hoon saw something different now. Weaknesses, paths that others couldn't see. Inside the human command ship, Yeon-ji watched every moment. Her hands moved across holographic displays. Ro-woon stood beside her, 6 eyes tracking impossible amounts of data. "He's getting close," Ro-woon said. Jae-hoon's communication was broken, but the merged technology allowed something more. A connection. Yeon-ji could feel what he felt, see what he saw. The first Void Collective ships noticed him. Weapons charge, impossible energy began to build. But Jae-hoon was faster. The quantum resonance weapon, a technology born from human determination and Kyrian adaptive science, began to work. It wasn't just a weapon. It was a message, a way of saying, "We can change. We can survive." Ships around Jae-hoon started to break. Not explode. Break. Their systems confused. Their understanding of reality twisted. Admiral Kang watched from the human command ship. "He's doing it," he whispered. Commander Park stood silent. For the first time, he understood. This wasn't about control. This was about survival. Jae-hoon's ship moved deeper. Each moment was a battle. Each second a war against impossible odds. The Void Collective's main control center appeared. A massive structure that looked like it was made from darkness itself. No civilization had ever gotten this close before. Yeon-ji's voice came through the broken communication. "You're not alone," she said. Something changed in Jae-hoon. The merged technology pulsed. His human heart and Kyrian adaptive systems became one thing. He was going to win, or die trying. Weapons fired. Space itself seemed to scream. The quantum resonance reached its peak, and then everything changed. The Void Collective's main staging area began to collapse. Not explode. Collapse. Like a complex machine suddenly forgetting how to work. Systems failed. Defenses died. Jae-hoon's ship was at the center of the destruction. "No," Yeon-ji shouted. But it was too late. The massive structure broke apart. Thousands of Void Collective ships died in moments. A civilization built on destroying others was now being destroyed. Silence filled space. On the human command ship, everyone waited, hoped, feared. Ro-woon's 6 eyes looked at Eun-ji. He knew, the alien companion said. He always knew. Minutes passed, then more minutes. and then a small signal. Weak, broken, but alive. The medical bay was quiet. Jae-hoon lay on a special bed that kept changing. Machines with blue and green lights moved around him. He was alive, but different. Eun-ji sat next to him. Her hand touched his. The merged technology in both of their bodies pulsed softly, connecting, healing. "You're crazy," she said. Her voice was soft, but strong. Jae-hoon's eyes opened. They were different now. Part human, part something else. "Survival is a choice," he whispered. Words he had learned from her. Outside the ship's window, space looked different. The Void Collective's destruction had changed everything. Stars that were hidden were now visible. Paths that were blocked were now open. Dr. Lee checked her machines. "His body is rebuilding," she told Admiral Kang. "The merged technology is doing things we don't understand." Ro-woon moved around the medical bay. The small alien companion was watching, protecting. Admiral Kang looked at the star maps. The Void Collective's massive network of control was gone, broken, destroyed. "We've won," Commander Park said. But his voice was different now, less angry, more understanding. Eun-ji remembered her lost civilization. The Korean Empire was gone, but its knowledge would survive. Through her, through Jae-hoon, through this new technology. "What happens now?" Jae-hoon asked. Eun-ji smiled. A real smile. Not a royal protocol smile. "We build something new," she answered. The ship's systems were changing, adapting. The merged technology was more than a weapon. It was a way of understanding, a way of surviving. Ro-woon showed new star maps. Territories that were once blocked were now open. Civilizations that were hidden could now be discovered. "We're not just survivors," Admiral Kang said. "We're explorers." Jae-hoon tried to sit up. His body moved differently now, more fluid, more alive. Dr. Lee helped him. "Take it slow," she said. Outside, human ships were changing, rebuilding, using the new technology they had learned. Commander Park looked at Eun-ji. "Your people are gone," he said, "but their knowledge lies." For the first time, he didn't sound like an enemy. He sounded like someone who understood. Ro-woon moved closer to Eun-ji. "Some civilizations die," the alien companion said, "but their stories continue." Jae-hoon's hand touched Eun-ji's. The merged technology pulsed, a connection deeper than words. The medical bay felt different, alive, full of hope. Space waited outside, full of mysteries, full of chances. They had survived. They had won. And now something new was beginning. A future where humanity was not alone, where technology could bring hope, where survival meant more than just fighting. Jae-hoon looked at Eun-ji. She looked back. The real journey was just starting.